So, income. Let me show you some examples of what I feel is some of the possibilities of what kind of income you want to earn. Now, a lot of people come up to me in this industry and say, oh, you know what, I'm going to start off, I'll start low, and I'll slowly build my clientele up until I get to a point that I can make money. But that's a challenge, because when you start low, you end up getting into a bit of a circle of comfort, and you don't go higher than that, and it becomes very hard. Now, question number one, is it easy to make a decent $10,000 a month income? Yeah, absolutely. I'll show you proof, literally no bullshit. I'll show you proof of how you can make $10,000 a month and how it can work effectively if you follow the same things that I'm going to share with you. So a few rules to the game. Number one, one-to-one coaching, as far as I'm concerned, is illegal. We're not even going to consider one-to-one coaching, because one-to-one coaching is more like counseling. So if you want a counselor, no problem. But when it comes to coaching, the best form of coaching is group coaching. In fact, if you look at all the weight loss programs around the world that have been very, very successful, almost all of them are group coaching methodologies or weight loss. The same thing with coaching. Group coaching is far more powerful, far more effective, and it basically ensures that the coach doesn't become a counselor and start giving advice. Because coaches don't give advice, they ask amazing probing questions. And when you have, say, 5 people as an average group for coaching, that means in the same hour that you work, you can actually make 5 times the income. Which means what? Which means that instead of you having to work an hour and then do a one-to-one, then another hour, another hour, you can actually work with 5 people at one time through a process that will produce results. Now, we'll talk about that later on, of how we can do that, maybe in day 3 or day 4. But I'm letting you know that group coaching is the future. It is the way to do it. Because we don't want the people dependent upon you and calling you every time they have a problem. We're talking about taking ownership, building a unity, building a group of people that work together through a methodology that actually works. So let's talk about coaching income. How does that work? Now, I know, for example, that some people will charge something like $100 per hour. Some people can charge $200 per hour, and some people even charge $2,000 per hour. And some people, if they're really, really nervous, may even start at $50 per hour. So the first question is, how do you decide your income? What is the methodology of you deciding how to make money? That's a good question. Are you going to start at the $50, the $100, the $200, the $2,000? Which one? So what I found is this, is that a good coaching program can be sold for approximately $550. And if you're in India, for example, the equivalent approximately would be about 40,000 rupees. So that is pretty decent. Now, the problem with coaching in most people's cases is that you'll come along to a coach and they'll say, all right, how many sessions do I need? And the coach will say, well, it all depends, let's see how it goes. But most clients don't want that. They want a beginning and they want an end. So if your coaching program does not have a beginning and an end, it now becomes counseling. Nothing wrong with counseling, but coaching should have a defined outcome. So for example, I have a program called the Incredible You. This one here, the Incredible You. The Incredible You is a 10-week coaching program. This is the program that all of my 6,000 coaches use around the world. 10-week coaching program. Now we, or the coaches, sell this for $550 or 40,000 rupees. Now, this entails, I'm going to give you an example of what I'm doing so you get an idea of what you could do or what you could do with me, either way. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm doing so that you can do this yourself, or you can do something with me maybe later on. I'm going to give you an example of what I'm doing, and if you want to do something similar, you can do it yourself, or even later, I'll show you how you can use a system that I've actually created. So how does it work? So in my case, it's a 10-week program. And it's 2 hours per week, which means I'm doing a total of 20 hours. As simple as that. There's a beginning, there's an end. And in 10 weeks, I will give you a guarantee of the following results. Now, you may be thinking, Mr. Khan, but what if I want to be a relationship coach? Or I want to be a health coach? I want to be a money coach? Will this kind of system work? Yes. My advice to each one of you is this, is never, ever, ever do external coaching. And you're saying, what are you talking about? I mean, there are people that will say, I'll show you how to make $10,000 a month, and I will coach you in that. Or I'll show you how to lose 20 kilos in a month, and I'll show you how to do that. So what they do, they work on the external world of a client. And if you work on the external world, that's impossible for you to have a dedicated program from beginning to end to be identical for every one of your participants. Because one glove does not fit all in the external world. But in the internal world, where you're working with mindset, you're working with outcomes, you're working with codes, you're working with masterminds, that can be one glove fits all hands. Because even if I do a 10-week program for someone in health, if I can get their mindset strong about who they are, what they want to do, their actions will automatically lead to that. If I want to get someone who wants to be financially free, if I work on their mindset over the 10 weeks, they will achieve financial freedom. If I want to get someone that wants to have a better relationship or find Mr. Right or Miss Right, if I work on the mindset, then there's a higher probability that they will take the right actions to do that. So my opinion is that you work on that. That is why the system that I've created can actually help with any niche that you can ever imagine out there. But there's a beginning and there's an end. The client's happy, you're happy, you have a process, you have a system. So how will this work? It's very, very simple. I mean, I don't really even have to show you this because mathematically it's the most simplest calculation in the world. So if I say, for example, I want to make $10,000 per month, all I have to do is divide that by 550. Oops. 550, and that gives me an answer of, right. So if I want to make $10,000 a month at a price of 550, that's the price I'm going to sell maybe a 10-week program or a 20-week program, whichever you decide. That means I need to get 18.1 clients per month. Now you're thinking 18 clients a month, I'll go cuckoo. Of course you won't, because that means you have to do 3 groups of 5, effectively. So that means you're doing 15. In total, you're going to be working 6 hours per week. 2 hours per batch is 6 hours per week. That gives you an income of $10,000. I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, that sounds all very nice, Mr. Khan, but where am I going to get those 15 or 18 clients from? And the answer for that, I will be sharing with you on day 4 of exactly how to do marketing, where the clients do come to you. And again, I'm not going to tell you to go and write your own copy matter, write your Facebook campaigns, do your Instagram campaigns. I'm going to show you how you can get clients with 0 ad spend. Now, it sounds hypey, sounds unbelievable. I've got proof, I've got evidence, I've got a process, and I will show you that. Because I know that most coaches, for example, when they start coaching for the first time, the first thing they'll do is put an ad out on social media. They get the lead, which they probably haven't defined properly. Then they don't know what to do with the lead. What do I do? How do I convert that person into a client? And I've seen thousands of coaches struggle. But I know that there's a way to do this so that there's with 0 ad spend cost. Like I'm talking about 0 ad spend cost. So now how you do that, I'll show you. But let's make assumptions, just for the sake of it, that you're able to get 15 or 18.1 clients in a month. That gives you an income of $10,000 a month. So even if I divide this by 2, that means I only need 9 people, or less than 1.5, or just under 2 batches per month of clients. That gives me an income of $5,000 a month. And if I want to make $2,000 a month, I can divide this by 5, which is almost 3 clients a month. That gives you a total income of $2,000 a month. Think about that for a moment. I know you're thinking, where will I get these clients? All I'm trying to tell you is for the hours that you spend right now, I promise you that this may sound unbelievable, but it is happening right now within my organization, within my coaches. It's happening. So I know this works. The price of $550, or if you're in India, 40,000 rupees, for 10 weeks or 20 hours of coaching is not a lot of money. It really isn't a lot of money. In fact, it works out to about $25 an hour, which is nothing for such a high standard program. So you can, but with the group coaching, it becomes 5 times that. It's as simple as that. Everyone got that? Now, one last thing I'm going to say to you before I leave today's video, and listen me out here carefully. If you're earning an income right now, let's say you're making $2,000 a month at the moment, or let's say you're making 15,000 rupees in a month, just for the sake of example. I'm asking you to look at this and work out what your net amount is. What your net amount is of what you get in your hand after tax, okay? Same thing here. Once you get your net amount, I want you to take out your travel cost for getting to work from this net amount. And then I want you to work out how many hours you're working. So if you're working from 9 to 5, you work out from the time you leave your house till the time you come home, which means that you may leave at actual 8 and you may actually end up coming back at 6:30. Calculate the number of hours you have here. Calculate that, and once you've got that, divide this amount by that. The number of hours times 4 equals your monthly hours of work. And with the monthly hours, divide that by your income, and you will see what kind of income you are actually making per hour. Because people don't do this. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is if, God forbid, there's another COVID, God forbid there's trouble going on. This is the only profession that you can do sitting in the comfort of your home with Zoom, for example, or any other conferencing service, and you can sit in the comfort of your home and you can coach anyone worldwide. The boundaries have disappeared. The boundaries have literally vanished. So here we've got your reason for doing it, which is very clear. The income that you can earn right now, which is crystal clear. You've learned about coaching versus group coaching, crystal clear. You've also worked out how much money you actually make per hour in your work or in your business. And if you're not working, that doesn't count for you, but you know what I'm talking about. So what I'm saying to you is that look at the reality. If I asked you right now in your job to have a 40-50% pay increase, could you do it next month? No. In coaching, you could do a 40%, 50%, 100% increase in your income if you decided to do that, because there's no limitation. The group coaching allows you to work many more hours if you want to, or many less hours if you want to. So I'm a big fan. I've got thousands of coaches around the world, all following the same system with results. In day 4, I'm going to show you how to do marketing in a way that you will never see anywhere on planet Earth. I'm not even exaggerating. 0 ad spend. You don't need Instagram. You don't need Facebook. You may be thinking, Mr. Khan, but you found me on Instagram, or you found me on Facebook or YouTube. I get that, but I will show you how you can start off as a new coach without doing that. And when you get to a larger stage, of course you're going to use it. Why wouldn't you use it? They're amazing services. They're great. But in the beginning, they're not great. They're costly, and they're very hard to manage. So that's amazing. You've done a great job. You've completed this video. Tomorrow or the next video, I'm going to talk about the challenges that you are going to face. Now, it's not the most positive of videos I'm going to take you through, but you've got to know the truth. What is the truth? Don't get carried away with some pie in the sky type of dream that people give you. There are hurdles. There are difficulties. There are challenges. And you need to foresee them before. And I will also show you, of course I will, how to get rid of those challenges. You've been amazing so far. You've completed this day. Very proud of you. Come back tomorrow. And all the questions that I've asked you here, I'll make sure there's a doc available for you to download and answer those questions. It should be very easy. And if you want to, please submit those questions with the results to the following email that you see on the screen. And if you do all the exercises, I promise you I'll give you a little extra, something nice. Because I want to see how committed you are. One more thing I want to say to you, that we have a registration form. If you want to get a discovery session, you want to talk to one of the coaches, the first step is to fill in an application form. I'm letting you know in advance, there's no cost, not going to charge you any money, there's no money involved. It's a bit of a detailed questionnaire. If you want the questionnaire, you can click on the link that is provided to you, and you can download that, and you can start filling that in, and you can submit it now. And if you don't want to submit it now, you can submit it at the end. But if you do submit it, I'll make sure you get first priority to the discovery call, because I know for a fact that there's going to be a huge demand. And one last thing I want to say, I know this is a bit long. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you next time. Watch the next video. I'll see you soon. God bless. See you next time.